Divine, divine, divine rising, darling hearts. How are we doing? How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Namaste and welcome in. I am Monique Christine, your hostess with the mostest, founder of Lotus Life with MC.com, the Lotus Life by Monique Christine app, and I just so happen to be your most favorite life and transformation coach, supporting you as you continue to heal, glow, grow, and flow into divine alignment with your highest self. We are back with another episode of Lotus Life Exchange. If you missed us streaming yesterday, you are not crazy. Tech was teching, and so I ended up having to record the episode and push that out. So the replay is available for you to catch up on. But let's be present in where we are today. We have a powerful show for you, another informative show, and I am so freaking excited to bring it to you. Let me do one thing right there. Okay, cool. We're good. So it is Wednesday. Can you believe that August is almost done? I cannot. I really cannot. Let me see. What is today? Today is Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. We are reading Agenda 47. Yesterday we got through chapter 5. There's only 10 chapters in Agenda 47, so we're halfway done. Today we're going to read chapters 6, 7, and 8. But before we get into that, we do need to take care of some housekeeping. I hope that you slept well, that you are ready for more information, and don't worry, I am going to take you through that beautiful guided meditation to help you bring it all down after we read today's 3 chapters. Okay? All right. So, like I said, today is Wednesday, August 28th, and that means that we are one day closer to the 2024 general election happening Tuesday, November 5. I've got some notes over here, so I am just bringing those up quickly. Now, election day, believe it or not, my darling hearts. Election day is 70 days from today. Yowza. Yes, it most certainly is. Election day is 70 days from today. And the first absentee, see, here we go, coming in hot again. The first absentee or mail-in ballots are going to be put in the mail in 9 days. 9 days from today. Oh my goodness. And early in-person voting starts in 19 days. Wow. So yes, we are right on track. We have a lot of things to get to. Let's see. We're going to finish up. Girl, what's happening here? All right, we are going to finish up Agenda 47 this week. Tomorrow is our final day of going through that. Okay, there we go. That's better. Tomorrow is our final day of going through Agenda 47, and then on Friday, we're going to do our health and wellness deep dive. We'll be talking about gluten and your gut health. So if you have any questions about gluten, don't be afraid to email them to me, but let's focus on the task at hand. So yes. The general election is coming up. We have less than 3 weeks until early in-person voting starts, and the first mail-in absentee ballots will be sent out in 9 freaking days, yo. Whoa. So what I want you to do, I want you to make sure that you are checking your voter registration status. Make sure that you are talking with your friends and your family, your loved ones, your elder voters. Make sure that everybody, yourself included, has a voting plan in place. Please do not wait until the last minute to get those voting plans in place. Especially if you live in the South, there are people who are working to make it more challenging for people to be able to cast their vote. So, are you going to vote in person? Do they offer early voting where you live. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have early voting, early in person. That's what I've been doing for the last several elections. It's very simple. If you live in Cincy, you can just go to the Board of Elections, okay? Any day leading up. I think it might be open 7 days a week. I'm not sure, but it's open at least 6 days a week. And yeah, it's the process is so freaking simple. Okay, if you don't feel like going to your polling place, I know some people, they may feel as though they're being intimidated at their polling places. Just know what's available to you. If you recently moved, you want to check the laws where you moved to as well as where you moved from, so that you know where you need to cast your vote. Again, please do not wait until the last minute, and especially with your elder voters that you know, help them out. See if they are interested in voting absentee, or if they want to do a mail-in ballot, or if they want to vote early but in person, okay? And if they are needing to request those ballots, help them, all right? Cool. Excuse me, to keep it nice and simple, just go to vote.org, vote.org, to find out what's what where you live. Now, who in the world could we possibly be voting for? Let's get crystal clear on that. Well, on the right side of the aisle for the GOP, we have Donald Trump running as a Republican. No, he has not always been a Republican. He actually was a Democrat until he ran for office. And he even said it himself. He said, if I were ever to run for president, I would run as a Republican because they are stupid enough to believe anything and blah, blah, blah. Look it up. I'm not making that stuff up. Again, you can't make this stuff up. It's crazy, right? He did run for president back in 2016. He beat Hillary Clinton, not Obama. He often likes to say that he beat Obama in a presidential race for the White House. That is impossible, because here in the United States, the maximum amount of terms that you can serve as a president is 2. And so Obama was a 2-term president. That's why it's impossible for Donnie to have beat him in a race for the White House. He ran with Mike Pence as his vice president then, and he beat Hillary. Hillary won the popular vote, but he won enough electoral votes. That was 2016. He ran for re-election in 2020. He did lose, and now he is running again for re-election, this time with J.D. Vance as his running mate. J.D. Vance is the junior senator from Ohio. Like you heard me say, I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'll tell you right now, ain't no love lost on J.D. Vance. Nobody here is excited about him. His Senate seat was bought for him. If you want to know more of what I mean, go back to episode 2 of Lotus Life Exchange. Excuse me. I share 55 things that you need to know about J.D. Vance. And it's coming from his own words, from his own memoir. So, there's that. On the other side of the aisle, the left side, running for the Democrats, we have Kamala Harris. And Kamala is currently vice president to Joe Biden. Kamala has chosen as her VP running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Walz, not Waltz, like the dance. Coach Tim, listen, last week was the DNC, the Democratic National Convention. If you missed any of it, which I lovingly referred to as the 4-night Kamala concert, if you missed any parts of the Kamala concert, you can go to Peacock and you can catch up on it. You can meet Tim's family. You can learn his story. I believe it's episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, of Lotus Life Exchange, where I shared 55 things that you want to know about Governor Tim Walz. So there's that. All right. Okie dokie. Let's see. Let me make sure that is all that I want to say there. Yes. So what we're going to do right now, we are going to continue on. We have been reading Project 2025. And so we're going to continue doing so. Now, there are 2 things floating around. Oh, excuse me. I said Project 2025. We're not reading Project 2025 until next week. This week we're reading Agenda 47. Project 2025 is Trump's, but he would have you believe that it is not. Unfortunately, 81% of the people that worked to create Project 2025 worked for the Trump administration. Hundreds of people. So yeah, Donnie. And I want to say it's episode 5 of Lotus Life Exchange where I took the time to actually connect the dots and let you know just how much Project 2025 is his. Okay? So don't be afraid to go back and revisit that info. But Agenda 47 is his official policy. And so that is what we are reading. Like I said, we are halfway through. There's only 10 chapters of that. So today we're going to read chapters 6, 7, and 8. So let me get those on the screen and let's dive right into it. I'm going to go ahead and drink some water. Welcome in. If you are joining us live, we are streaming to TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. Come on over to TikTok. That is the main room. That's where you can join in the conversation. Okay? If you are on YouTube or Twitch, check the chat. I did put a magical LINK in there for you to be able to join in with us. Cool? Coolio. All right, I see Melly Mel is in the building. Thank you so much, my love, for joining me, and thank you for the love that you sent my way. All right, so chapter 6. Are we ready? We're as ready as we're going to be. But again, don't worry. After we get through this, I'm going to take you through a beautiful meditation. It is Wednesday. Wednesdays are associated with that heart chakra. It's all about letting the love flow, and we're going to do a self-love meditation. But right now, we love ourselves enough to be informed, so let's get into this. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. Ah, very nice. Melly Mel is up early today. Had to take the oldest to orientation. Good stuff. Well, I'm glad that you are able to sit in with us. And I'm glad that tech is allowing us to stream live. We have been dancing around in the energies of Mercury retrograde, which brings you a lot of tech issues, miscommunications, and unforeseen delays. Mercury does go direct later today, but we will still be in the shadow period through September 7th. So September 8th is when you can look forward to things balancing out as far as Mercury goes. Cool? Cool. So let's get into this. Chapter 6. Trump wants to tell you how he's going to protect those seniors. So let's see. President Trump has made absolutely clear that he will not cut one penny from Medicare and Social Security. Before we go any further, that is not true because Trump spent his first campaign talking about how he was going to gut Social Security and Medicare. And he and his MAGA Republicans have discussed how they want to increase the retirement age so it takes you longer to get access to those funds. Okay? Even though he's done everything in his power to not pay his taxes, to not pay into the system, but somehow he is bothered by the fact that there is a system that supports elder Americans later in life. Whatever, boy. We don't have time to dance around your feelings, okay? All right. So I did want to fact check that. Believe not what they say, but what they do. Pay attention to how they vote. Pay attention to the regulations that they want to put in place. And I believe when we start reading Project 2025, you are going to find a very stark difference to what is discussed here in Agenda 47. Project 2025 is their roadmap, their detailed roadmap of what they are planning to do. And like the wonderful, incomparable Maya Angelou told us time and time again, when someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time, boo. Okay? All right, so American citizens work hard their whole lives contributing to Social Security and Medicare. These programs are promises to our seniors, ensuring they can live their golden years with dignity. Republicans will protect these vital programs and ensure economic stability. Again, they have voted to do the complete opposite. While the Biden administration has consciously worked and made it so that Medicaid could negotiate drug prices, right? Prescription drug prices. The GOP has done everything in their power to not help out. Now, right now, as I am speaking, your insulin is capped at $35 a month. And that is thanks to the Biden administration, not Trumpy and his dumpy gang. Okay? Okay. We will work with our great seniors in order to allow them to be active and healthy. Now, how are they going to do that if you have scorched the earth beyond recognition? So it's too hot for them to go outside because it's summer right now and a lot of us are under heat advisories. The top communities impacted by the heat advisories are going to be the elderly, the very young, and the sensitive populations, people like me who have asthma, right? So with them wanting to use fossil fuels, they want to drill, baby, drill. They want to get back to the coal and the oil. They want to cut all of the regulations that are helping to keep our air clean, our water clean. They want to gut the EPA again because he already gutted the EPA when he was president the first time around. I don't know if you know that, but Trump actually fired a lot of people in the EPA. He closed down several divisions. Okay? The Environmental Protection Agency, that's the EPA. So I don't know how they're going to really support our great seniors in being active and healthy, but let's continue on, girl. We commit to safeguarding the future for our seniors and all American families. Again, lies and deceits, because certain American families, they would rip you apart. They would rather take away your ability to grow your family by outlawing things like in vitro fertilization. They would like to take away your rights if you are an LGBTQIA plus identifying family. So again, pay attention to what they do, not necessarily what they say, how they're voting, the laws and things that they want to instate. Okay? All right. So they're offering 5 ways that they plan to protect those seniors. Let's get into it. Number 1, protect Social Security. Social Security is a lifeline for millions of retirees. That is true. Yet corrupt politicians, yes, Donnie, like you and your gang, have robbed Social Security to fund their pet projects. Republicans will restore economic stability. Now, please tell me how they're going to restore economic stability when Donald went out of his way to pass that tax break for the top 1% of Americans that added several $trillion worth of debt to our national debt. And he imposed these insane tariffs on products already being imported into the country, which is why inflation got out of control. It's the Biden administration that has been working diligently to decrease, to lower inflation. And as a matter of fact, the Federal Reserve, is set to lower interest rates in September. Next month, baby. September starts on Sunday. Okay? So, yes, we are very close to those interest rates coming down. Donnie and the gang created the problem, but now somehow they're magically going to fix it because they are fiscally responsible. I'm not sure where, because this is the same guy who has defrauded everybody. He defrauded the state of New York. He defrauded people with his Trump University scam. He has done everything in his power not to share his tax returns because we see that he has lied on his tax returns. Okay? He inflated or deflated his earnings based on how it would support him. But I guess we're still supposed to just take him at his word, even though he is liar number one and criminal number one. And he is set, I don't know if you know this, but he is set to be sentenced in his case that he lost, where he defrauded the state of New York, and his Trump organization is no longer allowed to do business in New York. Yeah, he's going to be sentenced in September 18th. But, okay, boy, somehow Republicans will restore economic stability to ensure the long-term sustainability of Social Security. Promise number 2, they're going to strengthen Medicare. Okay. Republicans will protect Medicare's finances from being financially crushed by the Democrat plan to add tens of millions of new illegal immigrants to the rolls of Medicare. What are you even talking about, Donnie? There's Medicare and there's Medicaid. Now listen, when I was in college, I first studied health information systems technology. And so I had to learn about reimbursement. I had to learn about our healthcare system as it currently is. There's so much red tape. It is a hot ass mess. But what I can tell you, Medicaid is the program for low income families. Medicare is for our elderly, okay? People age 65 and older. And one of the biggest struggles for people that are older in America is they're on a lot of prescription drugs. At least one, right? If you are not, you are viewed as an anomaly, like my mom. She is viewed as an anomaly. She's not 65, but she is in her early 60s. I'm allowed to say that because she is the poster child for glowing for health and wellness. She is a member of my virtual wellness studio, and looking at her, you would never guess that she is in her 60s. She takes no prescription medication whatsoever, okay? And it is possible to improve your health through sustainable lifestyle changes. And if that's something that you're interested in, visit my app or my website to learn more. Okay, I have an on-demand library overflowing with resources to keep you glowing from the inside out, baby. But yes, our older Americans, a lot of them do take prescription meds. And like I said, the Republicans have done everything in their power to not lower drug prices, to not negotiate. Okay? So, again, watch what they do and how they vote, the actions that they take, not what they say out of their mouths. Because the Republicans, just like anybody else, will tell you anything if you let them. All right? All right. Let's see. We vow to strengthen Medicare for future generations. That's BS, because they've said that it needs to go away. Just like Social Security. But anyways, number 3, they are going to support active and healthy living. Now, Mr. 5 cheeseburgers a day, who when he invited, remember when he invited that basketball team to the White House? And he has chefs. Dude, they have chefs that work at the White House. It's their job to prepare quality, high-end meals. He ordered McDonald's for the athletes, and they were salty. Don't nobody want to eat no damn McDonald's? No athletes do, because they know that that's not going to help them. And Trumpy Dumpy is a walking clogged artery. You can look at him and tell. But anyways, he's going to support active and healthy living. Let's see. Republicans will support increased focus on chronic disease prevention and management. Let's keep going. Long-term care and benefit flexibility. We will expand access to primary care and support policies that help seniors remain in their homes and maintain financial security. Boy, bye. No, you won't. No, you won't. Okay. I see Alvin is in the building. Welcome, darling heart. Alvin remembers that when Donnie served McDonald's to the athletes. You better miss the whole entire memo. That's what I'm saying. Like, that right there lets you know just how health conscious he is not. And his followers, the MAGA Republicans, they do whatever the hell he says, whether it makes sense or not, girl. But okay, all right. Number 4, they're going to protect care at home for the elderly. That's going to be hard, though, if they're trying to get rid of Medicare and Social Security, because Medicare does offer a lot of that in-home care for our for our elderly population. Okay. Your in-home care, your assisted living care, all that stuff is coming from Medicare, which they want to gut and do away with. I know that they say in Agenda 47 they want to do something different, but that's why for everything they say in Agenda 47, there's just like 1 or 2 real great sentences that sound good. They don't actually go in depth. When we read Project 2025, the 992-page manual, you will see exactly what they're planning. Okay, girl? Okay. Let's see. So, number 4, they want to protect care at home for the elderly. Republicans will shift resources back to at-home senior care, overturn disincentives that lead to care worker shortages, and support unpaid family caregivers through tax credits and reduced red tape. Boy, the only tax credits and tax breaks that you want to roll out are for the top 1%. They can afford to fly in a brand new health care aid every damn day for the rest of their lives. So he's not talking about middle America when he's saying things like that. And how do I know this? Because he already did it the first time when he was president. But now we're supposed to believe that he's going to do something different. He's still saying the same stuff he was saying back then. Like, we're going to drill, baby, drill. Donnie, go somewhere and have all the seats before they put you under all the jails. You have court cases to worry about. Okay, that's why he's out here selling Bibles like a vacuum salesman. And the crazy part about him selling those Bibles is that he's included the Constitution, which he has personally said he's going to rip up. He is hypocrite number 1 as well. Don't listen to Donnie. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. He don't even know if he's on earth most days. Y'all remember when when he said, "I am the chosen one." Do y'all remember that? Remember Person, Woman, Man, Camera, TV? I actually have a poster on my wall. I do not identify as a Republican. I identify as a Democrat. But the Lincoln Project, which which is so freaking awesome, and it's run by a bunch of Republicans. The Lincoln Project is. They are Lincoln Republicans, okay? Donnie had to take cognitive tests while he was president because everyone figured he was losing his mind. And did you know that his father actually had to deal with going senile? Donnie's going senile as well. And I'm not making light of that. That's why they gave him several cognitive tests. And that's why he was bragging about them. Oh, I aced all those tests. Donnie, that's not a gold star moment. You shouldn't even have to take cognitive tests. But because you're out here looking and talking like a crazy person, okay, they have to make sure that you are sane. So, anyways, there's that. And number 5, for protecting the seniors, the 5th way they're going to do that, they are going to protect economic foundations for supporting seniors. Republicans will tackle inflation, the inflation that they created, Unleash American Energy. I already read this to you from Monday of this week. Okay? Their definition of unleashing American energy is through the fossil fuels like coal and oil, which have contributed to the climate crisis. I know you know it's hot outside. I know you know it ain't never been this hot outside, right? That is because of the fossil fuels and everything. That is why everybody on earth for the most part has been moving towards clean energy, because using those fossil fuels is overheating the planet, burning that hole in the ozone layer, making it bigger and bigger and bigger. The ozone layer is what is protecting us from the sun roasting everybody just like that. Okay? Okay. But yes, the American energy, not only are they talking about getting back to the fossil fuels and getting rid of the regulations that are keeping your water and your air clean and safe, they also want to unleash nuclear power. Yes, the same nuclear power with the radiation that causes you to glow and shorten your lifespan. And now you're growing new parts and pieces, and you are riddled with cancerous tumors. That same radiation coming from the nuclear energy. But yeah, let's go ahead and unleash that American energy, because we don't have wind in America. We don't have the sun in America. We don't have rain in America. We can use wind power, solar power, even water power, hydropower to power things. But no, he doesn't want to do that. Okay? Let's see. Republicans will restore economic growth. Yeah, for the top 1%. Okay. And secure our borders. Now, how in the world are y'all going to secure our borders when we had a comprehensive bipartisan border policy, / immigration policy bill that was ready to go to the floor? The most comprehensive bill created to date. And Donnie, at the last minute, told his MAGA Republicans to tank it, to not let it get to a vote, because he needed something to run on. He needed something to complain about. He needed to say there was a problem. The issue at the border with immigration would have been resolved. The Border Patrol, everybody signed on to that piece of legislation. And Donnie, while no longer president, called his MAGA Republicans in the House and the Senate, but mostly the House because they have control of the House currently. Okay. He called them and told them all, do whatever you have to do to not let it go to a vote. But somehow they are going to secure our borders. To preserve Social Security and Medicare funding for the next generation and beyond. We will ensure these programs remain solvent long into the future by reversing harmful Democrat policies and unleashing a new economic boom. Boy, good and thee bye. Wait until we read Project 2025 and you can hear exactly what they're planning. Because this whole Agenda 47 thing was thrown together. That's why it's only 10 chapters. That's why we can read through it in 4 days. Their Project 2025, they have spent countless hours. There have been hundreds of people working on that. They have training videos and everything associated with that. And that's why it's 992 pages. But don't worry, we're going to read it, baby. Oh yeah, starting next week. Let's move on to chapter 7. That was it for chapter 6. That's what I'm saying. This is like somebody's summary. Okay, this is Donnie's summary, but this is his policy that he's going to put forth once he becomes president. Chapter 7. Cultivate great K-12 schools leading to great jobs and great lives for young people. Before I even get into that, we're going to have to fact check that right quickity quick. It's not that the reading takes a long time, it's that the fact checking takes a long time. But when I read Project 2025 to you, you're going to be able to hear exactly what they're saying behind the scenes, behind closed doors, okay? And not all of the doors are closed, by the way. Programs like Head Start, which they provide early childhood education programs for low income families, the Republicans want to do away with it. They say that it's been harmful, that it's not good, it doesn't do anything but hurt children, and it's a waste of resources. That's not true. It's not true. They want to get rid of the Department of Education. They've said it time and time again. So I don't know how in the hell they're going to cultivate great K through 12 schools if they close the damn Department of Education. But let's see what they have to say. So let's start with the commitment. Our commitment. Republicans offer a plan to cultivate great K through 12 schools, ensuring safe learning environments. Now hold up, wait a minute, let me throw my flag up in it, girl. Flag on the play, offsides. How is it going to be safe if they refuse to put common sense pew legislation in place to make sure that the children can actually be safe in school? They would rather children's parents buy bulletproof backpacks than to introduce common sense pew legislation. And yes, we're going to call that spade a spade. The reason why my son goes to school online now is because he was born the same year that Sandy Hook happened. The Sandy Hook Elementary pew-pewing massacre, where first and second graders lost their lives. Yeah, that's the same year that my son was born. And let's be honest, it hasn't gotten any better. It hasn't. It hasn't. It has not. Okay? Okay. All right. Let's see. Republicans offer a plan to cultivate great K through 12 schools, ensuring safe learning environments free from political meddling. There wasn't political meddling in the first place. And restore parental rights. Is that why you're banning books and you want to whitewash history and you don't want to teach African American history, African American studies? Or if you do teach it, you literally will not pay the teachers who teach those courses. So they're going to have to teach other courses if they want to get paid, because that's going to have to be pro bono work. And it's where they are wanting to pull out diversity, equality, and inclusive programs in our colleges and universities as well. They don't want to teach critical race theory. There is no such thing as critical race theory. This whole CRT, critical race theory, is a made up thing. What they mean by that is that they don't want to teach the truth about slavery because they don't want people to be offended. The truth is their children can handle it. And let me let you in on a secret that's not a secret. I went to private school. I went to school in the suburbs. I also went to public school. And I went to Catholic school. I've done it all, baby. When I went to school in the suburbs when I was in high school, I had a psychology class. I was the only 11th grader in there. Everyone else was in the 12th grade. There was a girl in my class, first name Lauren. I won't say her last name. Lauren was brave enough to share that she was terrified to go to college because she's not stupid. Your children are not stupid. That's the thing. Lauren said out of her own mouth, I know that I've been in a bubble and I am terrified to go to school outside of this bubble because I don't feel comfortable around other people that don't look and sound like me. And It makes me sad. I was the only person of color in that class. And Lauren was thrilled to have class with a person of color, but she felt so uncomfortable because she didn't know how to approach me. Girl, just talk to me. Calm down and just talk. I can't change my skin color any more than you can, but if you just talk to me, you'll see that I'm super freaking cool. And she saw that I was. Your children don't want to be raised in a bubble. Your children, you are handicapping them by not teaching them their history. Because those who do not know their history are condemned to repeat it. But that is what they're counting on. That's why they want to not teach the full American history. That's why they want to whitewash history. That's why Governor Ron DeSantis of the great state of Florida, who is a MAGA Republican, okay, that's why he actually fixed his mouth to say people of color benefited from slavery. Yeah, there were some people of color who benefited from slavery. Lies and deceits. No person of color ever benefited from slavery. Don't you dare. You mean the same slavery where you unalived people, where you treated us like property? We were 3/4 of a person, not even a whole person. Is that the same slavery that we're talking about, where you pitted us against one another? Those who were more fair complexioned, like myself, were known as, I gotta watch myself so we don't catch a restriction. They were able to be in the house, okay? Those with darker complexions, they had to work in the fields. But nobody was safe because the ones in the house had to watch out for massa's grubby hands all up in the cookie jar. Like Thomas Jefferson, for instance, he fell in love with one of his slaves and had children with her. Did you know that? A lot of people don't know that. Watch Jefferson in Paris, the movie. It's a movie. It's a beautiful movie. It's quite long, but it's powerful, and it is told from the perspective of Thomas Jefferson's melanated relatives. Okay? Okay. But I do want to be crystal clear. No person of color benefited from slavery. And how dare you insult us? How dare you? While y'all are still hanging out with the Klan. Really? The same one who was putting the ropes in the trees and putting the people up there and then setting them on fire and then taking pictures with their children, with these people behind them in the trees, ablaze. Really? That's the same stuff that we're talking about. That's why we needed a civil rights movement in the first place. That's why President Lyndon B. Johnson had to sign the Voting Rights Act into law August 6th of 1965? What? Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page here. Okay, girl. Okay. All right. So, we commit to an education system that empowers students. I don't think so, because you want to ban books. You want to control the narrative. You don't want them to read books like Lord of the Flies. You don't want them to read Beloved. You don't want them to read anything having to do with slavery. You don't want them to read anything having to do with the LGBTQIA plus population, like we don't freaking exist, right? Yeah, okay. You want to tell them that they're wrong if they're not sheeple. But okay, yeah. We commit to an education system that empowers students, supports families, and promotes American values. Which American values is the question that we need to be asking. Is this true American values or Christian nationalist American values? Because there's a stark difference, my darling. Okay? Our education system must prepare students Listen to this hypocritical sentence. Our education system must prepare students for successful lives and well-paying jobs. You do know that there's people of color out here in America, right? Y'all do know that, right? Y'all do know that Trump is the poster child for not being fair or equal. He was a slumlord. He was sued because he would not rent to people of color. And you can't make this up. He actually had his workers file the applications that came in from people of color. He had them put a C at the top of the application and then put it in a drawer and not open that drawer back up. He didn't want to rent to people of color. So I don't understand why there are people of color who say, yay, Trump. This is the same Trump who took out ads in the paper for the Central Park 5. Now the Central Park, what are they? Not the Central Park. They're not the Central Park 5 now. They are, I think, the Vindicated 5 or something like that. 5 young melanated teenage boys who were accused of graping a Caucasoidal woman in Central Park. They were locked up for more than 30 years, y'all, for a crime they did not commit. The person who actually committed the crime confessed, and it was proven through DNA evidence that they were innocent. And Trump still to this day has not apologized to them. So don't think for 1 second that he has any sort of respect for your melanated self. Again, watch what they do, not what they say. Okay. But yes, our education system must prepare students for successful lives and well-paying jobs. I agree. But if you gut and get rid of the Department of Education, I don't really know how you're going to do that. Okay? And if you take away programs like Head Start, I don't know how you're going to do that either. Because there are low-income families in America. And they are the blue-collar families. They are the ones who are doing the dirty jobs that you dog them out for, that you don't want to pay them for. He wouldn't even pay his own people. People who clean houses. People who cleaned his hotels. Yeah. He doesn't respect y'all. He doesn't respect anybody. He doesn't respect himself. He doesn't even respect his own family. He told his nephew, who has a disabled son, to let his son pass away. He said, I don't know. He doesn't even recognize you. Why don't you just let him unalive and move to Florida? He said that to his own blood nephew. And he has never met that nephew's son. This is the nephew who is Mary Trump's brother. Mary Trump is Trump's niece who, thank God, came out and was telling the American people the truth about her uncle. Trump was put in charge of, so Mary Trump and her brother, their father passed away before they were 18. So there was a trust created for them that they should have had access to upon turning 18. Their uncle Donald was put in charge of the trust. Do you know that when Donnie was having financial trouble with his Atlantic City casinos and other things, do you know he stole their money? He took a little bit of money and gave it to them. He said, here, take this and let that be that. He swindled them out of their inheritance, he and his remaining siblings. And then when his nephew had to ask for some money for his disabled son, that's where Donnie said, oh, I don't know. He shouldn't have had to ask for money because that was his money. But he asked for it nonetheless. And instead of saying, here, of course, whatever you need, he said, I don't know. He doesn't recognize you. Why don't you just let him pass away and move to Florida? His nephew put out a tell-all book. Look it up. Google it. Fact check me, please. Okay? Okay. So, let's see the 9 ways that they are going to cultivate the great K through 12 schools leading to great jobs and great lives for young people. Number 1, great principals and great teachers. Republicans will support schools that focus on excellence and parental rights. We will support ending teacher tenure, adopting merit pay, and allowing various publicly supported educational models. The charter schools. They want to bring in more charter schools where you have to pay for it. Not everybody can get into a charter school, and they are able to control what you are learning, what they are teaching. Charter schools kind of get to do their own thing. Okay. Universal school choice, number 2. Republicans believe families should be empowered to choose the best education for their children. We support universal school choice in every state in America. We will expand 529 education savings accounts and support homeschooling families equally. Now, the thing about homeschool, there's a difference between homeschool and online school. My son, he goes to school online. Homeschooling, you, the parent, have to come up with the entire curriculum yourself, and then you submit that for approval to the state. Okay? Hopefully you're submitting it for approval, but that's what you're supposed to do. You don't have to have a degree. School online, there's public school online and there's private school online. My son actually goes to a K-12 school, and here in Ohio, the K-12 school that he goes to is Ohio Virtual Academy. Okay? But there are K-12 schools all throughout the country. I can tell you right now, K-12, they are charter schools, but they are not banning books. They are not whitewashing history. I can only vouch for OHVA, but because OHVA is a K-12 school, I feel confident recommending any school that falls under the K-12 umbrella. They are teaching our children the truth. Okay? Okay. So, yes, with the online school, whether it's public or private, the school creates the curriculum. The students simply have to log in to an online platform to access that curriculum. And you, as the parent, are the learning coach, and you help bridge the gap. You help make sure that they are in class, that they are understanding what they're learning, that if they're falling behind, you're talking with their teachers, things like that. Okay? But they do have both public and private options. K-12 does. Okay? My son is doing, right now he's in a public K-12 school, but because I went to private school, I am able to see other things that I want him to learn. But they are doing an excellent job at educating him. I will say, my son is thriving. He has straight A's. He's had straight A's. Okay? He's in 7th grade now. So, let's continue on. Number 3, they want to prepare students for jobs and careers. That's important. Republicans will emphasize education to prepare students for great jobs and careers, supporting project-based learning and schools that offer meaningful work experience. We will expose politicized education models and fund proven career training programs. Listen, the career training programs are great, the vocational schools are great, but if you do away with the Department of Education, you are handicapping our children. I don't know how America is supposed to remain the greatest nation if it's full of a bunch of idiots because you're not teaching them what they actually need to know. That part right there is pretty important. Okay? Yes, it is. All right? All right, let's keep going. Number 4, safe, secure, and drug-free schools. Well, hell, girl. With the safe part, they already failed because they refuse to go against the pew pew lobby. They refuse to go against the NRA. They refuse to instate common sense pew pew legislation. They refuse. Okay? It doesn't matter that the babies are losing their lives in school. It doesn't matter that they have to buy bulletproof backpacks. Can we just take a moment to acknowledge the fact that our children should not be preparing to go to war? They should not be little soldiers. They should not have to have bulletproof backpacks. They should not have to go through active pew-pewer drills. When I went to school, when I was in 11th grade, that was when Columbine happened. Okay? So that tells you like my generation and where I am with it. Okay? As I was on my way out of high school, that was when the first school pew-pewing took place. Okay? It has not improved since then. It has only gotten worse. And it doesn't have to be that way. And it's not just high school. It's junior high. It's elementary school. Like I said, my son was born in 2012, the same year that the Sandy Hook Elementary massacre happened. And more than 20 beautiful children, second graders, lost their lives. And then you got people like Alex Jones who want to say, one of Trump's followers, they want to say that Sandy Hook was a hoax and that these children never existed in the first place. They were actors. No one lost their lives. That's why he got sued up and out the wazoo. You cannot make this stuff up. So how dare you talk about making the schools safe when you would rather have our children have to go to school with bulletproof backpacks and participate in active pew-pewer drills than to be able to just instate common sense pew-pew legislation. Why do we need assault rifles? If we're not at war, you don't need an assault rifle. If you are a hunter, you don't need to riddle that game with 42 shells because you're going to be eating those shells, girl. You don't need all that. Common sense. Common freaking sense. Okay? Okay. When I was in school, we had fire drills. We had tornado drills. We didn't have to practice earthquake drills, but we knew in case of an earthquake, we needed to get under our desks. Now the children, they do all of those plus active pew-pewer drills. Where are you going to hide? How do we lock the door? How do we slip out the window quietly? Make sure you stay quiet. I don't know what all of the drills are, but I do know that I have teacher friends who have to take their children, their students, through these drills. Do you know that they want to arm the teachers? Again, instead of the common sense laws, putting them in place, let's give the babies the bulletproof backpacks and give the teachers the pieces. So your teachers are strapped. If it takes all that to go to school, we need to drop everything and reevaluate because there's several problems happening here. It didn't used to be like that. And it doesn't need to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. But if you let Trump back in office, that's what you can look forward to. The teachers being strapped. There are a lot of educators who do not feel comfortable with that. They should not have to lay down their lives to go to school to educate our children. They're already underpaid and overworked. Now you want them to be willing to lose their lives? What is happening here? Okay. All right, so let's see. Safe, secure, and drug-free schools. Republicans will support overhauling standards on school discipline, advocate for immediate suspension of violent students, and support hardening schools to help keep violence away from our places of learning. You don't need to harden the schools. You need to put some common sense legislation in place and keep it moving. These are children. You are robbing them of their childhood. I am a Disney kid. The reason why I am so playful and delightful is because that was not my childhood. You are not allowing these children to be children. What are you doing? The children have anxiety. Anxiety is on the rise, and it's on the rise in our younger populations, including our babies. And it probably has to do with the fact that they have to have active pure drills. That's unnerving for anybody. That would be unnerving for adults. They're not stupid. They see the news. They hear what's going on. But okay, y'all. You want to harden the schools? This whole we're at war thing that the MAGA Republicans are showing up with, you need to pay attention to that. Because they are at war with the rest of us. The rest of us who would rather have common sense legislation in place. The rest of us who believe that everyone is welcome at the table. The rest of us who believe that everyone should be represented in our educational system. The rest of us who believe that the full, ugly American history truth should be taught. They are at war with us. Okay? All right. Number 5, they want to restore parental rights. Republicans will restore parental rights in education and enforce our civil rights laws. How dare you? You won't even sign the John Lewis Voting Rights Act into law, but you want to talk about somebody's civil rights laws? The same ones you want to do away with? Oh, okay. Girl. Republicans will restore parental rights in education and enforce our civil rights laws to stop schools from discriminating on the basis of race. We trust parents. Hold up. Wait a minute. Because isn't this the same Trump who put his conservative Supreme Court picks on the bench and they did away with affirmative action, which made it illegal for y'all to not let people go to school based on their grace? Yeah. Okay, hypocrites. All right. Just making sure that we are on the same page. Listen to this. Number 6, knowledge and skills, not CRT and gender indoctrination. Now it's getting good. Republicans will ensure children are taught fundamentals like reading, history, science, and math, not left-wing propaganda. Now, wait a minute. How are you going to teach history if you don't want them to know about slavery? The country was built on the backs of the slaves. The same country that you stole from the indigenous people, and then you pushed them over into a little bitty corner. Yeah? And then you brought over stolen people. and you treated them like dogs, and they're the ones who actually built the country, but you don't want to teach that part, but you're going to teach history. What the hell history are you teaching? Because if you skip over that, you skip over kind of the whole shebang-a-bang, right? And again, those who don't know their history are condemned to repeat it. Why don't you actually strengthen the children by teaching them the truth so that they don't repeat those ugly mistakes, if we want to call them that, those ugly mistakes from the past? That makes more sense to me. But common sense ain't common, y'all. We will defund schools that engage in inappropriate political indoctrination of our children using federal taxpayer dollars. They don't want your children learning about LGBTQIA families. Listen, nobody is teaching your kids to be trans. They're not talking about that in elementary school. Middle school, they may be teaching about LGBTQIA plus families in the sense that, yes, there are different types of families. There are families with one mother, one father, two mothers, two fathers, right? They teach them things like that. And in high school, they have programs to support them like Gay Straight Alliance, right? So that everyone has a voice and they have the support that they need. And they do teach that, yes, people identify as different genders, and that's okay. But no one is teaching that to the elementary school kids, okay? There is no indoctrination happening. And again, what happened to the whole equality thing? Because everyone is sure that your boy Mike Pence is queer. I'm queer. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing. My favorite people are queer people because we know the struggle and we love everybody, even though we are one of the most attacked populations. And if you are a person of color and you are part of the LGBTQIA plus family and you are a woman, girl, you already have 3 strikes against you. Identify as a woman. Even with all of that against us, we still teach love and equality and support and understanding. Listen to your children. Love your children. Your children are your children and they are amazing. It doesn't matter who they love. How about let's be excited for the fact that our children are filled with love instead of policing who they love and how they love. I would much rather my son be capable of love than to feel like he's wrong if he chooses to love someone who may happen to be his gender or not. That is his personal choice. And I believe that God makes no mistakes. I didn't ask to be queer. I came here like that. My first smoochie was with a girl. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. For me, it's about the energy. It's about the individual. It's not about the gender. Can we let that be okay? And then what about Caitlyn Jenner? Because Caitlyn Jenner, who used to be Bruce Jenner, the Olympian, who is a staunch Republican, who is trans, they're telling you, Caitlyn girl, that you are the problem. I don't know why she identifies as a Republican, because they have no love for her. They are teaching that you are a problem and that you need to go back in the closet. And pretty sure Lindsey Graham has a lot of sugar in that tank too, and that's okay. Listen, I'm here for the sugar, baby. The loudest voices are and can we not forget about the fact that I think it was last week, it was within the last 2 weeks for sure, Donald Trump himself compared himself to Kamala Harris. He said, I am better looking than she is. Dude, you are a hetero male. Why are you comparing yourself to this hetero woman? What are you doing? The only men that I know that compare their looks to women are part of the LGBTQIA plus family. I have never known a straight man to say, I'm better looking than she is. What? How do we even compare? You're a dude. She's not a dude. How do you even begin to compare the two? Again, not making this stuff up. Fact check everything I say, but look it up. I promise you, boo boo. He said that he was better looking than that woman. She's a beautiful woman, but he's better looking than she is. First off, no, you're not. Secondly, what the hell are you talking about, Donnie? Is this your coming out party? Because no straight man compares himself, his looks, to a woman. They don't. I know straight men. I know LGBTQIA plus men. I know trans people. And I know a lot of people, okay? I've not just lived in the Cincinnati, Ohio bubble. I've actually traveled the planet. Most of my people that I consider my close friends, they don't live here. They're in Guam and in Miami, Florida. They are all over the earth. What the hell is he talking about? I ain't never met a straight man who compares his looks to a woman. Okay? Okay, girl. But anyways, let's move on. Number 7, promote love of country with authentic civics education. Here they go with 1776. Republicans will reinstate the 1776 Commission. Hold on. First off, back in 1776, people of color were not considered a whole person, and women didn't have any rights whatsoever. So I don't know that we need to reinstate that. Okay, can we do something maybe a little more recent? Because this is 2024. Why are we reinstating 1776 anything? We have progressed far beyond the 1700s. Many of us have. Not everyone, though, apparently, girl. But yes, they want to reinstate the 1776 Commission, promote fair and patriotic civics education, and veto efforts to nationalize civics education. We will support schools that teach America's founding principles and Western civilization. But you're going to leave out the fact that America was built on the backs of slaves and people of color who you considered less than a person? Oh, okay. All right. How about number 8? Freedom to pray. Girl, before I go any further, did you know that down south, I believe it's Mississippi. It's like Mississippi or Oklahoma. I can't remember. Definitely look this one up. They are now forcing the teachers to read the Bible in school. And I'm not talking about Catholic schools or, private parochial schools. I'm talking about in your public schools. They don't want to teach the true American history, but they want to force your children to learn and read the Bible in school. If you do not send your child to a parochial school, a religious school, they should not be forcing religion on your children, because there's more than just Christianity observed in the United States of America. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page there. So listen up. Republicans will champion the First Amendment right to pray and read the Bible in school. You can pray in school. You can read the Bible in school, but it should not be forced on every child. and stand up to those who violate the religious freedoms of American students. But what about the other American students who are Jewish? Donnie's own daughter, Ivanka, is Jewish. Her husband is Jewish. She converted to Judaism in order to be able to marry Jared Kushner. Her children are Jewish. Donnie is against them. What about the children who read the Quran? What about the children who follow Islam? What about the Buddhist children? What about them? It doesn't matter, because everyone needs to be a Christian, apparently. No, they don't. Been there, did that. It was a terrible time for the country and earth, okay? The Crusades, where they were hurting everybody in the name of God, yeah. Let's not go back there, because that was not a great time. But if you don't teach the history of that time, then you're definitely going to go back there. But that's what they want to do. Okay? And yes, they are reading the Bible to them now. They have made that part of the school curriculum. Period. That's down south. I'm not sure if it's Mississippi or Oklahoma or someplace like that, but please look it up. They are instating these policies now. And like Maya Angelou said, when someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. Okay? Okay. Number 9, they want to return education to the states. The United States spends more money per pupil on education than any other country in the world. And yet we are at the bottom of every educational list in terms of results. That's actually not true, but we're not at the top. But if you dumb down all the kids and you do away with the Department of Education and you start letting their backwards ass parents homeschool them, yeah, the ones who can barely spell and they wouldn't know common sense if it kicked them in the face. Yeah, if that is the standard, then of course we're going to be at the bottom of everything. But anyways, let's see here. Listen, I told you. We are going to close the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. I am reading what they are telling us. When people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. It says it right here in black and white on page 13 of Agenda 47. Page 13, part 9 of chapter 7. The second sentence says, we are going to close the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. and send it back to the states where it belongs and let the states run our educational system as it should be run. No, because you know how many crooked states there are, especially down south. The reason why we celebrate Juneteenth is because slavery was abolished, but down in places like Florida and Texas, people were still working as slaves years after they were legally freed. The military had to go in and tell these people, you're free. You don't have to be here anymore. But they wouldn't let their slaves read. And so now we supposed to trust y'all to teach people everything they need to know? You held people hostage years after they were freed, and they never should have been slaves in the first place. Okay, girl. Not okay, but okay. Our great teachers, who are so important to the future well-being of our country, will be cherished and protected by the Republican Party so that they can do the job of educating our students that they so dearly want to do. Then why are y'all banning books? Because the teachers, they want to teach our children. They are not happy about the book bans. The librarians are not happy about the book bans. Teachers and librarians, they are happy about people learning. They want them to learn everything. So the hypocritical nonsense here is on full display, and I hope that you're able to see through the lines. It is our goal to bring education in the United States to the highest level, one that it has never attained before. Well, hell, you're not going to do it by going back to 1776 stuff. You're not going to do it by closing the Department of Education. You're not going to do it by not teaching the history of America. How in the hell are other countries going to know more about our history than we know about our history? But that's going to help us? I think not. All right, so chapter 7 was a bit long, and there was quite a bit of fact checking that we needed to do. So I am going to shift gears here, and we're going to pick back up with chapter 8, 9, and 10 tomorrow, okay? Now, I think we need to woosah. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling insulted by the lies and the hypocrisy that is on full display. And so I'd like to get into a meditation, excuse me. Would you? Would you? Yeah, I dove deep into that conspiracy. That's going to backfire so hard. Yes, it will. Yeah. All this stuff is going to backfire. All of it. All of it's going to backfire. Let's shift gears, y'all. It's time to woosah. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it all the way down. It is time for a relaxation, a meditation. Yeah. So let's get into it. Today is Wednesday. Wednesdays are associated with that heart chakra. It's all about letting the love flow, letting your beautiful love radiate out, and opening yourself up to receiving the love that is flowing around, available to you at all times. So go ahead and get nice and comfy. Take a deep breath, settle in, get a sip of water. Let's woosah. The purpose of me reading Agenda 47 is not to stress you out. It is to give you the info that you need so you can make fully informed decisions. That is why I choose to get in good trouble, like John Lewis asked of us. Because silence is complicity, and I will not sit idly by and let others rip this country apart. Period. I have to be able to live with myself. And I would not be able to do so if I didn't speak up. So this is my way of honoring that and doing my part as an American, as a true American patriot. I am helping to save the country by telling the truth and exposing the lies that dare to threaten everyone's lives. Because trust me, that poisoned air and poisoned water is going to impact everyone. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic status. Okay, so let's get a sip of water. Good stuff. And I want you to check in with your body, your physical body. Just check for any areas of tension or tightness. Checking in with those shoulders, I want you to roll those up, back, and down. That's going to push the chest forward, bringing your spine into beautiful alignment, taking away that sunken in feeling, allowing you to breathe nice and deeply. I want you to slow down your breathing, your inhalations lasting at least for a count of 4. Same with your exhalations. And I want you to lower your breath. I want you to go from breathing in your chest and shoulders, where your shoulders are going up and down. I want you to move that breath down to your belly and your diaphragm. The diaphragm is a muscle that lines the bottom of the rib cage. It looks like an upside down smile. Okay? Let's check our volume here. Okay, there we go, much better. So I'm going to take you through a self-love meditation today. If at any point during this meditation you find yourself feeling unsettled, I want you to bring your awareness back to your breath, breathing slowly, deeply, and intentionally. If we do not allow the natural love for ourselves to be expressed, love does not reveal its beauty very often throughout each day of our lives. Get into a nice, relaxing position, removing any distractions for the duration of this session. Take the very first action in self-love right now. Your ability to breathe at will in all different kinds of ways. Our breath has been there literally our entire lives, changing as needed to the demand of exciting circumstances and flowing effortlessly when we are resting. Taking multiple full and deep breaths every day is proven to change our bodies and minds for the better. So I want you to take in 5 full and deep breaths, holding it for a moment at the top and naturally exhaling. So here we go. One. Inhale a nice big breath, expanding your belly and lungs as much as you can. Hold it. And exhale gently with relief. 2. Inhaling fresh oxygen that will be supplied to your bloodstream. Holding it to soak it in. And exhaling without any effort. 3. Inhale, feeling rejuvenated and invigorated by this breathing. Hold it. And exhale easily. 4. Inhale, noticing how breathing fully comes naturally for you. Pausing to soak it in. And exhale any tension or worry. And 5. Inhaling fully is an act of self-love. Pausing to feel this love. And exhale into complete relaxation. Let your breath flow at a pace without any effort from you now. So go ahead and breathe naturally, but you should feel your belly moving as you're breathing. On the inhalations, your belly should expand, and on those exhalations, your belly should come in toward your spine, but breathe nice and naturally. Good. By doing this, you are proving that you are capable of self-love. Deep breathing increases the supply of oxygen to your brain and stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, sometimes referred to as the rest and digest system. By breathing deeply and often, you are commanding your body to rest, which relaxes and rejuvenates you. This is self-love in its simplest form that anyone can do at any time of the day. Now, let's honor ourselves by relaxing the mind even further. Notice now how your thoughts are rising in your mind, one after the other. See them come and see them go. Some thoughts linger for some time, and some thoughts only come for a split second. If you can really focus, you will notice even smaller thoughts, such as describing the world around you or labeling the things in your surroundings. Let your hearing become super alert now, and try to focus on some sounds around you. Maybe you can hear the sound of your breath. Can you hear nature nearby? Or perhaps cars passing by? or people talking with each other. Just go from sound to sound, focusing on only one at a time. Now stop focusing on any sound in particular and just allow all of the noises around you to come in equally. And when you hear them, they almost act as tiny waves of relaxation, calming your mind. Your mind relaxes when you activate your senses on command. Let's use the power of your amazing visualization abilities to induce self-love. Begin to imagine yourself full of an abundance of self-love. See yourself now choosing healthy foods and cooking at home so you know all of the ingredients you're putting into your body. Vividly see yourself eating well. When you eat well, you see, when you eat well, see yourself enjoy these moments, and you feel the nutrition that these choices bring you. Imagine now you have a strong will to avoid junk foods and unhealthy drinks. See yourself in great detail, confidently saying no to all these things. You feel very proud now when you avoid eating something unhealthy. Good. Eating healthy is an essential component in self-love. Another form of self-love is observing your mental chatter. In order to have great self-love, you must expand the good things you feel about yourself and challenge any negative thoughts as soon as they arise. So, hear yourself saying, "When I fully love myself, I am able to fully love others." Deciding to love myself is a wonderful agreement. Each day, I allow my love for myself to grow more and more. I am worthy of love, and I honor the joy that comes with it. Deciding to love myself unconditionally, no matter what happens, feels wonderful. I deserve love and respect. My self-esteem grows along with my self-love. I love and accept everything about myself. I completely and always love myself. Today, I love myself even more than yesterday. truly loving myself is easy for me. The more I love myself, the better my entire health. I love every moment of my existence. Every part of me that makes me who I am is encompassed with love. I have unconditional love within me that overflows in abundance to those around me. Great. Now, gently opening your eyes, take a fresh breath and know that whenever you love yourself, you will find love. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to take you through this guided meditation for self-love. It is my sincere hope and prayer that you are feeling calm, you are feeling open to receiving love, you are knowing that you are deserving of love, and you are feeling ready to let your beautiful love radiate out for all to experience. Beautiful work, my darling hearts. We did it. We made it, y'all. We made it. We made it. We made it. Oh yeah, we made it through another informative day on the Lotus Life Exchange. Today we read chapters 6 and 7 of Trump's Agenda 47. And tomorrow we're going to pick back up. We're going to see if we can do 8, 9, and 10. We might need to do 10 on Friday, but I promise we'll still do our health and wellness deep dive on Friday, okay? So, any questions that you may have, whether it is pertaining to Agenda 47 or pertaining to health and wellness, because Friday we are going to talk about gluten and your gut health, email me your questions. I am here to help. But remember, closed mouths, they don't get fed. So, any questions that you might have, send them to me. send them to hello@lotuslifewithmc.com. Again, that is hello@lotuslifewithmc.com. And on Fridays, I will answer those questions that you have emailed to me. It doesn't have to just be from today's episode. Maybe as you are catching up on previous episodes of the Lotus Life Exchange, you are getting some questions. Email those to me as well. Okay? And speaking of catching up, go ahead and catch up on our replays. Today was episode 9 of the Lotus Life Exchange. So you have 8 other episodes to catch up on. And if you are just now joining us, don't worry. This replay will be available in my app as well as my website a little later today. Okay? So, thank you so very much for allowing me to support you by giving you truth. I am here to give you fact, not alternative facts, actual facts, so that you can make fully informed decisions for yourself as we move towards our 2024 general election. And please remember that whomever we choose to put in office, they work for us. They represent us. So I encourage you to vote for people who have the same values that you do. If you believe in truth and equality and protecting the planet and that everybody is welcome at the table and people should be free to live their lives as they choose and love who they love and read the books that they want to read, then you need to vote for the candidates who stand for those things. Make sure that you visit vote.org so you can see what you need to know about voting where you live. Make sure you have that voting plan in place. Election day is 70 days from today. The first mail-in absentee ballots go out in 9 days. And the first early in-person voting begins in 19 days. Okay? So again, that is vote.org. Make sure you have your voting plan in place. Please do not wait until the last minute, okay? Talk to your friends, your family, especially the elder voters that you know. Help them request their absentee ballots. Make sure that y'all know what you're doing. Check your voter registration status as well, especially down in like Texas, because there are millions of people in Texas who all of a sudden have been put on this list of people that cannot vote. And that's because Texas knows that they've pissed off a lot of people with taking away the women's reproductive rights. That is on the ballot this fall. If you believe that women should have bodily autonomy, then you definitely want to make sure you cast your vote. Don't expect the next individual to vote. Because while it shouldn't be a close race, we need to make it abundantly clear which way we want the country to go. And we need to leave no room for doubt, especially with the conservative majority on the Supreme Court. Okay? I love you. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be back tomorrow for another episode of Lotus Life Exchange. Remember, you can catch up on those replays in my app and on my website. Link in the bio or link in the description, depending on where you are watching me from. Thank you for being here, and I will see you then. Stay safe, stay amazing, and stay informed. You don't have the luxury of being willfully ignorant to what is happening in this country, because I promise it is going to impact you. All right, darlings. Namaste. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow.